listen closely. Because what I'm about to say is not for the crowd. It is for you. The one who has been searching. The one who feels the stirring in their spirit, knowing there must be more than what you have been living. You have carried old stories in your mind, like chains wrapped around your destiny. You have whispered to yourself, maybe this is all there is. Maybe life has chosen against me. But hear me now, life has never been against you. It has only been waiting for you to awaken to the truth of who you are. You are not a beggar at the door of destiny. You are the owner of the keys. And every locked gate you've stared at in frustration, it was never locked at all. It was waiting for you to touch it with faith, to speak the word, to claim the inheritance that has always been yours. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that your word is your wand. And some of you have been waving a wand of fear, of doubt, of lack, without even realizing it. Your tongue has written spells of delay, of disappointment, of closed doors. But tonight, this very moment, the spell is broken. The moment you hear truth, the falsehood dissolves. Understand this, you are not here by accident. Something drew you. Some unseen current carried you here, to this voice, to this moment, because your soul is ready. Ready to shed the garments of limitation. Ready to step into the brilliance of who you were always meant to be. You see, the universe does not respond to your begging. It responds to your becoming, and you are becoming now. Even as these words pour into you, the rewiring begins. Old pathways of fear are collapsing. New circuits of power, authority, and divine certainty are forming within you. You are not trying to attract wealth. You are not chasing love. You are not reaching for peace. You are wealth. You are love. You are peace. All that you seek is but a mirror, reflecting what already lives in the depths of your being. But here is the mystery: the mirror cannot reflect until you stand as the truth. As long as you say, I lack, I want, I hope, the mirror shows you lack, want, and endless hoping. But the moment you declare, I am, the mirror obeys. Say it with me now: I am favored, I am chosen, I am the open channel of infinite supply. Let those words cut into the stone of your old mind and carve out a new temple. You have been taught to measure life by effort, by struggle, by striving. But listen, the kingdom does not come by striving. It comes by knowing. It comes by resting in the authority of the divine law that cannot fail. What you truly claim with belief must appear. What you speak in faith must find you. What you embody must unfold around you as surely as the dawn follows the night. And perhaps you say, but I've spoken before, and nothing happened. Yes, because you spoke with your lips, but in your heart you carried the old record of fear. Words without belief are empty shells. But when your word is fused with faith, when your thought is aligned with the knowing that all of heaven backs you, then mountains move. Then rivers part. Then the impossible becomes your daily bread. So I tell you now, stop calling yourself unlucky. Stop calling yourself stuck. Stop repeating the tired story of not enough. Those words are not yours anymore. You are crossing a line tonight. The old language cannot pass with you. The old identity cannot travel with you. Only your true self, radiant, powerful, divine, may enter this new dimension. Feel this truth. You are not waiting for your breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. Every shift begins in you. Every miracle takes its breath through you. Every answered prayer is hidden in your own rising. Right now, as you listen, your spirit is being rewired. Every word of wisdom you hear in this journey will not just brush past your ears. It will enter your cells. It will rewrite the script you have lived by. It will replace fear with faith, doubt with certainty, delay with acceleration. And soon, you will not even recognize the person you once were, because the shadows will have fallen away, and only light will remain. You will rise each morning clothed in assurance. You will walk through the day as one who commands the unseen. You will speak, and creation will answer yes. This is the power you are stepping into. This is the destiny that has been waiting for you all along. The question is, will you receive it? Will you dare to claim the authority of your word? Will you allow yourself to believe that everything you seek is already yours. Because the next words I will give you are not just sentences. They are keys. They are codes that open hidden doors within you. They are the sacred phrases that can rewire your destiny in ways the world cannot explain. Lean in now. Don't drift. Don't let your old mind pull you back. Because what comes next has the power to change everything. Your word is your wand, and it is the first law you must understand if you desire to rewire your life. You have spoken words without thought, and they have built your prisons. You have spoken words in fear, and they have become walls around your path. You have spoken words in doubt, and they have turned into clouds that blocked your light. But when you awaken to the truth, you realize the power has never been outside of you. It has always been on your tongue, hidden in the breath of every sentence you release. Every word you speak is a command, a decree, a seed cast into the soil of the universe. Some words grow into weeds that choke your joy, while others grow into gardens of plenty. The choice is not in the soil, nor in the sky, nor in the seasons. It is in the words you sow daily. When you say, I can't, you create a spell that binds your hands. When you say, I am unlucky, you summon evidence to prove it true. When you say, nothing ever works out for me, you give the universe the blueprint, and it obeys without question. You have been a magician working against yourself, casting dark enchantments with ordinary language. Yet you did not know. You thought words were casual, fleeting, disposable. But words are not weak, they are living forces. They carry vibrations that travel faster than thought, reaching into the unseen, shaping matter, drawing experiences to you as faithfully as gravity pulls the stars. The ancients knew this truth. They guarded words like treasure. They spoke only what was sacred, only what they desired to see made flesh. They understood that to name a thing was to call it forth, to clothe the invisible with form. And now this wisdom rises in you. You are beginning to see that your mouth is not meant for complaint, not meant for fear, not meant for idle chatter. Your mouth is the altar, and every word is an offering. What you speak determines what descends. If you speak lack, lack bows and enters. If you speak abundance, abundance bows and enters. If you speak confusion, confusion finds your door. If you speak clarity, clarity runs to serve you. Your word is your wand, and with a wand you do not play. You direct it. You point it with intention. You hold it with reverence, knowing it holds the power to open or to close, to release or to bind. And so you must ask yourself, what spells have you been casting unconsciously? Which phrases do you repeat like rituals of defeat? Perhaps you have said, I'll never have enough. Perhaps you have sighed, life is hard. Perhaps you have muttered, I'm always broke. Or, things never work in my favor. These are not harmless expressions. They are commands. And the universe, obedient servant that it is, delivers accordingly. But here lies the miracle: you can reverse the spell. You can pick up your wand again and speak a new world into being. When you declare, everything I touch prospers, you are not lying, you are planting. When you say, money flows to me freely and easily, you are not pretending, you are aligning. When you speak, doors open before me without effort. You are sending forth instructions to the unseen, and it begins arranging the scene to match your decree. Your word becomes the architect, and your life becomes the building. Notice this: the most powerful words begin with, I am. These two words are the throne of creation. When you say, I am, the universe rushes to complete the sentence. I am weak, and weakness crowns you. I am strong, and strength clothes you. I am unworthy, and life mirrors rejection. I am chosen, and opportunities bow at your feet. You cannot escape the power of I am. It is the name of the divine flowing through you. Every time you use it, you either bind yourself or free yourself. So guard your tongue, for it is the gatekeeper of your destiny. Begin to notice the words you have been repeating. Catch the curses disguised as casual talk. Transform them into blessings. Instead of saying, I never get ahead, speak, I am always in the right place at the right time, and everything moves me forward. Instead of saying, Money slips through my fingers. Declare, I am a faithful steward, and money multiplies in my hands. Instead of saying, no one values me, decree, I am valued, celebrated, and richly rewarded for who I am. Each word you speak is like a seed. Seeds do not sprout instantly. They rest in the soil, unseen, gathering strength, drawing nourishment, until one day they break through as undeniable reality. Many times you have spoken negative seeds and forgotten them, but they did not forget you. They waited, and they bore fruit, and you wondered why life was heavy. Now you will plant with wisdom. You will not curse your garden and then be surprised by thorns. You will bless your garden, speak over it daily, and know with certainty that your harvest must appear. Your word is your wand, and this wand carries authority greater than struggle, greater than effort, greater than circumstances. Circumstances may scream, you are bound, but your word says, I am free, and freedom appears. Circumstances may whisper, there is not enough, but your word says, I walk in overflowing supply, and supply answers. Circumstances may laugh, you are alone, but your word says, I am surrounded by love, and love manifests. Your word is your wand, and when you wield it with faith, nothing can resist it. Every wall must fall, every gate must swing open, every delay must dissolve, because the law is unbreakable. What you speak with belief, you must receive. Lack is an illusion, and abundance is your birthright. You have been tricked into believing that life doles out wealth in fragments, that some are chosen to prosper, while others must struggle. But this is a lie. The truth is that abundance has always been present, flowing around you, through you, waiting for your recognition. It is not created by effort alone, not manufactured by strain or endless labor. It is already here, like the air you breathe. And the only difference between those who live in lack and those who live in overflow is awareness. The one who sees the river drinks deeply, while the one who closes their eyes suffers of thirst, even as the waters rush at their feet. You were born into a universe of infinite supply. Look at the stars, countless beyond measure, filling the sky without end. Look at the oceans, vast and uncontainable, waves upon waves with no sign of exhaustion. Look at the trees, bearing fruit season after season, giving without depletion. Creation is not stingy, not limited, not small. It overflows in every direction, spilling out beauty, wonder, and provision in ways the human mind can hardly comprehend. How then could you believe that abundance would run dry when it comes to you? To believe in lack is to close your eyes to the evidence written across the entire universe. Lack is an illusion because it only exists when the mind accepts it. When you say, there is not enough, your consciousness shrinks, and you block the flow that was meant to reach you. You build invisible dams with words of fear, and then you wonder why the stream seems dry. Yet if you were to shift your gaze, to say, I live in an abundant universe, and everything I need comes to me with ease, the dam begins to crack. The waters of supply rush in, carrying with them money, opportunities, relationships, and solutions that were always there, waiting for permission to reach you. You must understand abundance is not something you chase. It is something you align with. Just as a radio must be tuned to the right frequency to catch the song already playing in the air, you must tune your mind to the frequency of plenty. Scarcity plays on one station, abundance on another. Both stations exist, but the one you hear is determined by where you place your dial. Too many have lived with their dial fixed on lack, wondering why they can never hear the music of prosperity. But you, in this moment, are being called to turn the dial, to lift your eyes, to claim your rightful inheritance. Florence Scovel Shinn spoke of the law of supply and demand. She taught that whatever you truly demand with faith, life must supply, because there is always a surplus in the unseen. Nothing is withheld except by your own disbelief. Consider this: when a child asks for food, the parent does not say, I cannot give because the kitchen is empty. No, the supply is already prepared, waiting to be served. So it is with you. Your good is prepared, stored up in the invisible, ready to be called forth by your recognition. You are not asking the universe to create something new. You are simply opening your eyes to what has always been. Many people confuse wealth with numbers in a bank account, but true abundance is a state of being. It is walking into every situation knowing you cannot lack. It is speaking with confidence that every bill is already paid, every need already met, every door already open. It is carrying yourself with the authority of one who knows that divine supply cannot be exhausted. And from that state of being, money flows, opportunities multiply, resources appear. The external follows the internal. When you embody abundance, the world mirrors it back to you. You may have been taught to admire struggle, to wear hardship as a badge of honor, but struggle is not sacred. Struggle is the fruit of forgetting who you are. Ease is the language of abundance. Flow is its rhythm. When you stop fighting against the river and allow it to carry you, you discover that what you were chasing was always waiting downstream. This is not passivity, it is alignment. It is the art of stepping into the current of divine provision instead of splashing in fear at the shore. Abundance is your birthright. No one can steal it from you, though many have convinced you to abandon it. Systems may try to limit you, people may try to intimidate you, circumstances may try to discourage you, but none of these have power greater than your consciousness. You reclaim abundance the moment you decide to see through the illusion of lack. You claim it when you say, I will no longer speak shortage over my life. I will no longer agree with the lie that there isn't enough. I live in an overflowing universe, and what is mine comes without struggle. Even now, as these words enter you, the rewiring begins. The old programming of scarcity is unraveling. The nervous system that once flinched at bills, that once trembled at missed opportunities, is being soothed and healed. A new pattern is forming, the pattern of trust, the rhythm of certainty, the unshakable knowing that everything you need arrives at the perfect time. This is not a dream. This is your reality when you awaken to it. This is the life waiting for you the moment you turn from the illusion of lack and step into the truth of abundance. Fear writes false stories, but faith writes destiny. Fear creeps into the mind like a shadow and convinces you that darkness is permanent. It whispers of failure before you even begin. It paints images of loss before you ever step forward. It drags you into futures that have not yet happened and chains you to outcomes that may never arrive. Fear tells you the worst is inevitable, and it demands that you bow before its vision. And many do, not realizing that fear is only smoke, a mist without substance, a phantom that cannot stand against the light of truth. The stories fear writes are lies carved into thin air, but when you believe them, they become your prison. Faith, however, is the author of destiny. Faith does not look at what is and tremble. Faith looks at what is unseen and declares it more real than the temporary shadows. Faith does not take its instructions from circumstances, from statistics, from opinions. Faith listens only to the divine law, the eternal voice that says all things are possible. Where fear writes endings, faith writes beginnings. Where fear writes defeat, faith writes triumph. Where fear writes scarcity, faith writes overflowing supply. Where fear says, you cannot, faith rises and answers, I already am. Understand this: fear and faith are not just emotions. They are creative forces. They are seeds you plant with your attention, and they grow into the experiences of your life. When you give fear your energy, you water weeds that choke your garden. You wake each day to the very circumstances you dreaded, not because they were destined, but because you unknowingly fed them. But when you give faith your attention, you water the seeds of greatness. You awaken to possibilities that others overlook. You attract doors that were invisible before. You walk into opportunities that seem to come out of nowhere, because faith pulled them from the unseen into form. Fear thrives on your imagination. It uses your ability to picture the future against you. It shows you images of loss, lack, rejection, and ruin, and you believe those images as if they were prophecy. But prophecy belongs to faith. Faith also uses imagination, but it paints visions of abundance, joy, healing, and victory. Faith says, Look not at the shadows but at the promise. Look not at what appears, but at what is destined. Every person is imagining all the time, but only the one who imagines in faith creates a destiny worth living. Fear is loud, but it is hollow. It screams to distract you from the fact that it has no real power. It thrives only when you agree with it. The moment you withdraw your agreement, its hold dissolves. Faith, by contrast, may whisper at first, but its whispers carry eternity. The quiet voice of faith holds more authority than the loudest roar of fear. When you choose to believe the whisper, you ignite a fire within that no storm can put out. You must learn to recognize the stories fear tells. They often sound practical, rational, even protective. Fear says, "Don't risk that, you might lose." Fear says, "Stay small, it's safer." Fear says, "People like you don't succeed." These are not truths, they are scripts designed to keep you bound. Faith, however, speaks in a higher language. Faith says, "Step forward, and the ground will rise to meet you." Faith says, "Open your mouth, and the words will come." Faith says, "You are already equipped, already chosen, already victorious." The choice is always yours. Which story will you allow to be written upon the pages of your life? The story of fear ends the same way every time, with regret, with limitation, with wasted potential. The story of faith ends with expansion, with miracles, with destiny fulfilled. Every great breakthrough in history began with faith. Every invention, every act of courage, every transformation began with someone refusing to let fear write the final chapter. Even in your own life, think of the moments where you acted in faith. Perhaps you made a bold decision when everything seemed uncertain, and somehow it worked. Perhaps you trusted your inner voice against the opinions of others, and it led you to exactly what you needed. Those were not accidents. Those were the fruits of faith. They are reminders that the universe bends toward the one who believes. Faith is not blind. Faith sees more clearly than fear ever could. Fear sees only the surface, the temporary appearance. Faith sees the truth beneath, the eternal pattern that guarantees your good. Faith says, "What I seek is seeking me. What I desire already exists. What I believe must come." And life, obedient as ever, rearranges itself to reflect that certainty. This is why Florence Scovel Shinn declared that every act of faith is a bridge between the invisible and the visible. The moment you choose faith, you begin to walk on ground others cannot see. At first it feels uncertain, but as you take each step, the path solidifies beneath you. Fear would have kept you frozen, staring at the gap, convinced it was uncrossable. Faith builds the bridge as you walk, proving that what looked impossible was only waiting for your belief. So release the false stories fear has written on the walls of your mind. Refuse to read them again. Refuse to recite them again. Take up the pen of faith and begin to write your true story. Speak it aloud until it echoes through your being. See it in your mind until it glows brighter than every doubt. Live as though it were already yours, and it will be. The outer world mirrors the inner declaration, and nothing you see outside of you can exist without first being born within. Every circumstance, every relationship, every opportunity, every obstacle is a reflection of the silent words you have been speaking in your heart. The universe does not deliver according to chance, it delivers according to the vibration you hold, the conviction you embody, the declarations you repeat with or without awareness. If within you the story is one of lack, then the mirror outside will show you empty accounts, closed doors, and endless delays. If within you the story is one of power, then the mirror outside must show you influence, prosperity, and favor. The mirror does not choose what to reflect. It only answers to what you give it. Many people try to fix life at the surface. They push against circumstances, wrestle with problems, chase solutions, thinking that if they can just rearrange the outer pieces, peace will come. But this is like trying to change the reflection in the glass without changing the face that stands before it. You cannot frown and expect the mirror to smile. You cannot carry fear and expect the mirror to show courage. The law is exact as within, so without. To change what is seen, you must first change what is unseen. Your inner declaration is not merely the words you speak aloud, but the beliefs you repeat in silence. It is the phrases that run through your mind when no one is listening. It is the unspoken, I am, that you carry as your identity. If you secretly believe, I am always overlooked, the mirror will show you rejection, not because the world is cruel, but because your declaration demanded it. If you silently affirm, I am always supported, the mirror will reveal helpers, open doors, and unexpected provision. Life has no choice but to respond. It is a faithful servant, echoing back what you have whispered within. Florence Scovel Shinn often said that you cannot attract what you do not declare. The outer must match the inner, and if you long for wealth while declaring poverty in your thoughts, you cancel the very thing you seek. If you dream of love while affirming unworthiness, you push away the very connection you desire. The mirror will not argue with you, it will not negotiate. It will simply reflect, exactly, whatever identity you hand it. This is why affirmations spoken without belief often feel powerless. Words on the surface cannot override a declaration buried deep within. You may say, I am successful. But if inside you continue to whisper, I am destined to fail, the mirror responds to the louder voice, the truer belief. The work is not only in repeating new words, but in embodying them, feeling them as truth, allowing them to sink into the soil of your consciousness until they become the dominant declaration. Once they do, the outer world shifts with startling speed, for the mirror must obey. Imagine the outer world as a stage, and your inner declaration as the script. The actors cannot perform a scene that has not been written. They simply follow the lines you hand them. If you script tragedy, they play it out faithfully. If you script triumph, they deliver victory with precision. Too many have been upset with the actors of their life, blaming people, circumstances, or fate, when in truth the issue was in the script all along. Change the script, and the actors change their lines. Shift the declaration, and the mirror shifts its reflection. You have more authority than you realize. Each time you declare, you are writing law into your personal universe. I am blessed sets in motion currents of favor that cannot be stopped. I am aligned with abundance calls forth money, opportunities, and connections that were already hovering nearby. I am divinely guided brings clarity, signs, and synchronicities that show up precisely when needed. Every inner decree is an order, and the outer world is compelled to deliver. If you want to test this law, begin with something small. Choose one declaration and hold it firmly, without wavering, for several days. Watch how reality bends to reflect it. Speak, I am magnetic to solutions, and notice how answers appear through conversations, through sudden ideas, through subtle alignments. Speak, I am favored wherever I go, and notice how people treat you differently, how situations unfold with surprising ease. This is not coincidence, it is reflection. The mirror is doing what it has always done, showing you yourself. The danger is not in the mirror, but in forgetting your authorship. If you look at outer conditions and declare them final, you trap yourself in repetition. You see lack and say, I am poor. So the mirror repeats it. You see failure and say, I am cursed. So the mirror plays it again. You see loneliness and say, I am unwanted. And the mirror makes it so. But when you learn to speak against appearances, when you declare what you choose instead of what you see, the mirror has no choice but to shift. You may look at emptiness and still say, I am wealthy, and wealth will begin to arrive. You may face rejection and still declare, I am loved, and love will appear. You may encounter obstacles and still affirm, I am unstoppable, and the obstacles will crumble. The outer world is never the cause, it is always the effect. The cause is within you. The declaration is the seed, and the mirror is the harvest. If you desire a new harvest, you must sow new seeds. If you desire a new reflection, you must speak a new declaration. Nothing in the world can resist this law, for it is eternal, impartial, and exact. Delay is not denial. Every divine promise ripens in perfect timing when you align. You have mistaken pauses for rejection, and waiting for abandonment. But the truth is that the universe is precise in its rhythm. Just as fruit cannot be forced to ripen before its season, your desires unfold according to a law that is both wise and exact. When you ask, when you declare, when you set your intention with faith, the answer begins immediately. The unseen begins to rearrange, pieces shift, doors move into place, opportunities are prepared, but the full picture does not always appear at once. Delay is only the space between planting and harvest, the necessary interval in which roots grow deep before the tree bursts forth in strength. You may look at the space of waiting and feel forgotten, but you are not forgotten. You are being prepared. The divine law is too exact to deliver a promise before you are ready to hold it. What good is wealth if your mind still clings to fear of loss? What good is love if your heart still clings to wounds? What good is opportunity if you have not yet shed the identity that would sabotage it? Delay is the kindness of heaven, ensuring that what arrives does not slip through your hands. Every waiting season is shaping you, strengthening you, chiseling away what cannot enter the next chapter. Think of the caterpillar hidden in its cocoon. From the outside, it looks like delay, like nothing is happening, like stillness without purpose. But inside, transformation is unfolding beyond sight. Wings are being formed, colors are being painted, strength is being built so that when the time comes, the butterfly does not crawl, it soars. Many abandon their vision in the cocoon stage, declaring that nothing is happening, when in truth everything is happening. Delay is not denial, it is the sacred space of becoming. When Florence Scovel Shinn spoke of the law of non-resistance, she reminded us that struggle against timing only tightens the chains. You cannot force the bud to bloom by pulling at its petals, you can only nurture the soil and trust the process. So it is with your dreams. Pushing, worrying, demanding only breeds frustration. Trust, faith, and alignment speed the process, because they remove the resistance that slows manifestation. When you align with the truth that all things arrive at the appointed time, you rest, and in that rest the current carries you swiftly forward. Notice how nature teaches this law. The sun rises at the exact moment it is meant to, not a second early, not a second late. Seasons shift with precision, tides move according to the pull of the moon, stars appear in perfect order. Creation does not rush, yet everything is accomplished. You are part of this same rhythm, woven into the same divine order. If the stars do not panic, if the trees do not doubt their spring, why should you? What is promised to you is certain, it is already yours in the unseen, and time is only aligning it with your readiness. Delay is not empty space, it is active preparation. Sometimes the universe is preparing you. Sometimes it is preparing the people you will meet. Sometimes it is preparing the exact circumstances for your success. You may not see the movement, but the movement is happening. Just as a builder prepares foundations before walls rise, the unseen is laying foundations beneath your promise. To rush it would be to collapse what was meant to stand. To trust it is to ensure permanence. In the season of waiting, the greatest danger is the temptation to speak against your promise. Many lose their harvest because in delay they begin to declare, "It is not coming. I was wrong to believe. Nothing ever works for me." These words uproot the seed, halting what was already on its way. But the one who holds steady, the one who continues to declare, "It is mine, it is done, it is already unfolding," will see the fruit appear in due season. Faith is not proven when the answer arrives, faith is proven in the waiting. Delay is the test of alignment. If you truly believe the promise is yours, you will not panic when it has not yet appeared. You will not measure by days or hours, but by certainty. You will rise each morning not asking, "Will it come?" but declaring, "It is coming now, and it cannot fail." You will walk as though it were already in your hands, and in doing so, you magnetize its arrival. The universe bends toward the one who waits with confidence, because confidence signals alignment. Understand also that delay often protects you. What you thought you wanted immediately may have harmed you if it came too soon. There are times when the universe, in mercy, withholds until you are expanded enough to carry it with wisdom. Do not curse the delay, bless it. Do not resent the waiting, embrace it. Each moment is preparing you, stretching you, shaping you into the version of yourself who can not only receive the promise but sustain it. Every divine promise ripens in perfect timing, just as surely as every seed bursts through the earth when the sun calls it forth. The harvest does not forget the seed. The answer does not forget the prayer. The universe does not forget your declaration. It is all recorded, all heard, all answered. The timing is never late, never wrong, never careless. The timing is flawless, and when the appointed moment arrives, what once seemed delayed will suddenly appear, as if it were always meant to be there, as if it had been rushing toward you all along. You are not seeking power, you are the power, and your belief is the switch that turns it on. For too long you have wandered, as if you were incomplete, as if life were withholding strength from you, as if you needed to chase something outside yourself to finally be whole. But the truth is that power has always lived in you. It is not borrowed. It is not earned, it is not granted by another. It is your very essence. You were born with divine authority etched into your being, a current of infinite energy flowing through every thought, every word, every choice. The tragedy is not that you lack power, but that you have forgotten it. You have walked through life with the lamp in your hand, but refused to flip the switch. Belief is the switch. Without belief, power lies dormant, as potential unrealized, like electricity flowing through the walls of a house where no light is turned on. The moment you believe, the moment you affirm, I am, the current surges, and life answers in manifestation. Everything responds to belief. Your body responds, your relationships respond, your finances respond, because belief is the signal that activates the law. It is not enough to wish, not enough to hope, not enough to dream while holding doubt in your heart. It is belief that seals the command, belief that unlocks the flow, belief that transforms words into reality. Consider how often you have unknowingly used this power against yourself. You believed you were unlucky, and life mirrored misfortune. You believed doors were closed, and you walked past opportunities you could not even see. You believed you were unworthy, and the world echoed back rejection. None of this was fate, it was misplaced power. Even in disbelief, the law does not stop working, it simply delivers according to the instructions you send. Your own belief, whether in lack or abundance, is always creating. Now imagine what shifts when you redirect that same power with intention. When you believe, I am chosen, I am abundant, I am unstoppable, the universe bends to accommodate your declaration. The same energy that once constructed walls of limitation builds bridges of opportunity. The same current that once fueled cycles of struggle now generates overflow. The power has not changed. It was always within you. What has changed is the position of the switch. You do not need to seek power from others, not from systems, not from approval, not from titles or recognition. To depend on outer validation is to hand your switch to another, waiting for them to decide when you may shine. This is why so many remain dim, waiting for permission. But the truth is you are permission. You are the authority. The light is yours to turn on. No one can deny you what was already woven into your being before your first breath. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the game of life is played with words and beliefs. To declare is to command. To believe is to seal the command into law. She reminded us that the divine within is limitless, but it responds only to the conviction you carry. You may recite affirmations for years, but if you do not believe them, they remain empty shells. Yet a single word spoken with full belief can shift the course of destiny. This is why belief is the master key, the silent authority that determines whether the power within you lies dormant or bursts forth into reality. Power is not noisy. It does not need to shout. It moves silently, steadily, like electricity flowing unseen through wires. You may not feel it, but when the switch is flipped, the results are undeniable. Rooms light up, doors open, manifestations appear. Your belief is the unseen gesture that sets everything in motion. You do not need to strain or force. You only need to stand in certainty, to declare with conviction, to know that what you speak is already done. That knowing is the spark, the activation, the release of power into form. This is why doubt is so dangerous. Doubt is not harmless hesitation. It is the hand that keeps flipping the switch off and on. You declare abundance, but then doubt says, "What if it doesn't happen?" And the power halts. You affirm love, but then doubt whispers, "What if I'm not worthy?" And the current dims. You speak success, but then doubt insists, "What if I fail?" And the circuit is broken. Power does not disappear, but the flow is interrupted. Consistent belief keeps the switch on, allows the current to build, and guarantees the manifestation of your desire. Think of yourself as a generator. You are not dependent on outside sources to supply your energy. You carry within you the spark of the divine, an endless well of creativity, authority, and strength. When you believe in lack, you generate lack. When you believe in overflow, you generate overflow. The source has never been outside. It has always been in you. You are not chasing power. You are awakening to it. Begin to practice turning the switch on deliberately. When you wake, say to yourself, "I believe in my abundance today." When fear rises, counter it with, "I believe in my protection." When doubt whispers, declare, "I believe in my unstoppable nature." Each declaration is a hand on the switch, each belief a surge of current, each affirmation a signal to the universe that the power is on. And once the power is on, nothing can resist it. Circumstances may bend, people may shift, opportunities may appear out of nowhere, but they are only the reflection of the current you have released within. You are not small. You are not weak. You are not waiting for power to come. You are power in human form, divine energy clothed in flesh, creative force walking as a person. The only thing required is your belief. The moment you choose to believe, the moment you choose to hold steady in certainty, the moment you decide, "This is who I am, and nothing less," the power flows without limit. It builds, it expands, it rearranges reality until it matches the truth you have declared. The world outside has no choice but to answer to the light you have turned on within.